Jada Pinkett Smith says, white supremacist responsible for Cleopatra's terrible audience score. It's back to work for the senator. China officially declares George Soros a global terrorist. He's the son of Satan. Chinese Communist Party labels billionaire Globalist the most evil person in the world. China has declared George Soros to be the son of Satan. The only secure document in Washington is the Epstein client list. What will happen if gay marriage is legalized? What will happen if gay marriage is legalized? Gay people will get married. A third world war will break out. Various plagues, locusts, frogs, etc. will erupt. Schools begin teaching kids how to have gay sex. The terror West will win. Billionaires on their way to a climate change conference. My parents in their 20s. Let's buy this house and have 3 children. Me in my 20s. Mommy, I think I'm a boy. Well, you're not. Remember when they tried to defeat a respiratory virus by placing plexiglass in swimming pools? Hispanics when you call them a slur. Hispanics when you call them Latinx. I don't accept science from people who claim a man can be a woman. Department of Corrections versus the Department of Education. Who wants to stop climate change? Who wants to tell China, which is responsible for 1/3 of all global CO2 emissions, to reduce its pollution so we can stop climate change? You're telling me someone drove a U-Haul with nothing but an EASE flag in it, tried to ram it into the White House, got stuck on a curb, then the police spread out the flag on the pavement so the media can get it in the shot. The left needed a narrative change. They got it. Socialist citizens. Socialist leaders. US News. Vaccine narrative collapses as Harvard study shows jab more dangerous than Cupid, as boosters that have not been tested on humans are being rolled out across the country. A new study indicates that the jab is far more dangerous than Cupid-19 itself, and the CDC has provided false information regarding their tracking of adverse events linked to the vaccines. If vegans don't want to eat meat, then why are so many vegan foods pretending to be meat? Priority lane. 1. Senior citizen. 2. Pregnant women. 3. Person with disability. 4. LGBTQ. 60,000 pounds explosive ammonium nitrate missing from train in California. 60,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate, used as a fertilizer, but also in explosives, are missing from a rail shipment that was due to arrive in California from Wyoming. You dumb mother duckers really thought all this shit was to go to Mars. SpaceX is promising the Pentagon 1-hour weapon delivery around the globe. The evolution of counterculture. 1980, 2023. Counterculture. Another FBI setup. Why would they lay that flag out like that? Just another photo op. The Viennese driver who crashed a U-Haul into the security barriers near the White House has been identified as Savashith Kandala, 19. Remember that time when we couldn't eat inside, but we could eat outside, so they brought the inside outside, and so the outside was like being inside, but it was still outside, so that was okay. That was fun. The last thing the government would do to take your guns is set your house on fire and kill your kids. But it is on the list. Michigan woman charged with caring for wildlife without permit, animals killed by state officials. This is what the media do. Careful. That foreigner wants your cookie. White theater goers urged not to attend play aimed at bulk audiences. A theatre in East London says that one-off performance of race satire Tambo and Bones will be free from the white gaze. 2021. Take the shots or you won't be able to travel, work, eat out, have surgery, visit your loved ones, go to school. 2023. Nobody forced you to take these vaccines. Just left meeting for House Oversight. The FBI is afraid their informant will be killed if unmasked, based on the info he has brought forward about the Biden family. This is how we make America great again. Bulk Lives Matter is headed for insolvency after plunging $8.5 million into the red, but founder Patrice Culler's brother was still paid $1.6 million for security services in 2022, while sister of board member earned $1.1 million for consulting. Why can the United States send hundreds of billions to Ukraine, though we are leaving hard-working Americans scraping paycheck to paycheck due to inflation? Or homeless fentanyl tent cities all over the West Coast? Or mental health services? Why is a war in Ukraine more important than these things? Hi, I'm Philip Marshall, a former airline captain and author of a book that exposed the official 9/11 narrative as a lie. Weeks after my book was released, I was found dead with gunshot wounds to my head along with 2 teenage kids and our family dog in our California home. Trust the science is the most anti-science statement ever. Questioning science is how you do science. Bulk supermist mows down 62 white people at a Christmas parade. 18 months later, no motive. Trans Terror West attacks a Christian school and writes a manifesto. 6+ weeks later, no motive. Hispanic male shoots up a mall and kills several white people. 1 day later, white supermist at Dear Cancel Culture, aim higher, go for the IRS. Since Princeton University is removing Woodrow Wilson's name from its buildings due to his recess thinking and policies, I think we should also repeal the federal income tax and the Federal Reserve, as both acts were signed into law by Wilson. Letting either law stand is recess. We supplied him with weapons, and then we killed him. We supplied him with weapons, and then we killed him. We supplied him with weapons, and then we killed him. To be continued. Planned Parenthood Communications Director commits suicide after police launch child porn investigation into him and raid his apartment building. Breaking. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. promises nourishment against all government officials who committed crimes against humanity during Cupid. Shock. Jeffrey Epstein bulk mailed Bill Gates over an affair he had with a very young Russian bridge player in 2010. Who is that? They say follow the money, but in Clinton's case follow the body seems more apt. I don't care who you are. Nobody has 56 friends who committed suicide. The push to end life of both animals and humans in the name of climate activism is fundamentally evil. Island looking to kill 200,000 cows to fight climate change. And so the normalization begins. Millionaire used blood from his teenage son to reverse aging. Breaking. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says the CIA rigs selections and assassinates leaders who refuse to comply with their agenda. If you are having a bad day or just not feeling great, at least your wedding pictures don't look like this. Who is the guy on the left? We are off to Mexico. Once we illegally cross their border, we will demand voting rights, refuse to learn Spanish, fly our American flags, send all our money back to the USA, and then call Mexican citizens racist and bigots for wanting to send us back. Go USA. And here's a Bush loses more than $5 billion in value amid Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light controversy. Dear feds, at least change the uniform. They will create the viruses themselves and sell you the antidotes. Thereafter, they will pretend to take time to find the solution when they already have it. Muammar Gaddafi. Man who accidentally left 300,000 guns for Taliban gives lecture on gun control. California Senate approves $300 weekly checks for unemployed illegals. What would you say you'd do here? I told you. I convince people to be domestic terrorists, so we have domestic terrorists to arrest. What the hell is wrong with you people? The IRS, which now has more guns than United States Marine Corps. Seriously. United States Marine Corps, which now has fewer guns than the IRS. I shut you not. This is a distraction from this. The government. We will know if you don't report Venmo transactions over $600. Also the government. We failed our 5th Pentagon audit. We don't know where that $2.1 trillion went. Breaking. Trudeau's censorship bill C11 has passed the Senate and will become law. This is a dark day for free speech in Canada. The worst thing about censorship is when the conspiracy theorists are the ones telling you UFOs are a con, and the normies are telling you they're real, the inversion is nearly complete. Elliot Page says she was sexually abused when she was 16 years old by older men in Hollywood. She recalls that, after splitting up with her wife, she lived alone in a cabin where she punched herself numb. Later she began hearing voices. After 2 weeks, she got top surgery. The Fed forgot to turn off location services before posting on Marketplace. Tactical adjustment CNC full stainless steel automatic selective full auto switch 4G17. Bud Light's marketing leadership undergoes shakeup after Dylan Mulvaney controversy. Alyssa Hennesheed, who has led the brand since June, takes leave of absence and is replaced by Budweiser Global Marketing VP Todd Allen. All men are created equal. They are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to abolish it. Wholly based. In nature, poisonous creatures will often develop bright colors to warn others of their toxicity. CIA. Wagner. $6.2 billion missing funds. John Kerry targets agriculture as part of climate crusade. This sector needs innovation now more than ever, Kerry remarked. 2021. Take the shots or we will fire you, starve you, take your children away, put you in camps, and leave you to die without medical treatment. 2023. Nobody forced you to take the shots. Klaus Schwab hires millions of information warriors to seize control of the internet. We will purge the internet of conspiracies and hate. The World Economic Forum, WEF, has announced it has recruited hundreds of thousands of information warriors to control the internet, policing social media and forums for misinformation and conspiracy content, which will then be systematically shut down. Advantages of being raised by a single mother outweigh expectations and outlast childhood embarrassment. Let us now praise single moms. When politicians are threatening a total government shutdown. No, stop, don't. Today I was handcuffed and put in a paddy wagon for offering students Bibles on a public sidewalk in Calgary. I was released and told if I returned I would be arrested and charged. I continued handing out Bibles. For I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. Josh Alexander. I can remove my tinfoil hat. Can you remove your spike proteins? Fox News. Joe Biden allegedly paid $5 million by Burisma executive as part of a bribery scheme, according to FBI document. Biden's son Hunter was a board member of Burisma and also allegedly in on the scheme. The People's Voice. Burisma energy accountant, who blew whistle on Biden bribery scheme, found dead. Breaking. A showdown is ramping up right now in Ottawa after the school board told all teachers to call all kids by they or them pronouns permanently. Every one student is now non-binary and protesters are getting furious. Situation escalating. Once you wake up, you don't see politics, entertainment, news, or celebrities anymore. You just see propaganda, social engineering, culture planning, and the manufacturing of consent. Titanic tour CEO didn't hire 50-year-old white guys because they weren't inspirational. Ocean Gate CEO Stockton Rush said he hired younger crew members to be inspirational. Empires only last about 250 years. The United States is 246 years old. Preventative medicine kills return business. First day of med school. Regardless of your preference, Democrats, Republicans, they are both made of poison, being sold to the masses by a corporate elite. Must be coordinated arson. Canada wildfire conspiracy claim goes viral as satellite video sparks wild theories. North Korea granted position on World Health Organization's executive board. How come I can't get cell phone service here, but NASA can play with remote control cars on Mars? Ukraine has given Elon Musk 72 hours to delete Tucker Carlson's Twitter account. If this requirement is not met, the consequences will be the most severe, both for the social network Twitter itself, and personally for Mr. Musk, Zelensky's office said in a statement. Tucker Burns, sweating rat, comedian turned oligarch, persecutor of Christians, friend of Bulk Rock, which owns of the land, factories, steamships in Ukraine. Breaking. CDC data shows Cupid vaccines increase the risk of myocarditis by 13,200%, according to new study. Mom, I'm scared. I don't want to go to war. Honey, quit being selfish. I don't like the president of Russia. Space Force General rips anti-LGBTQ+ laws, claims they stop her from picking most qualified candidates. Yes to gender care. Stop targeting our children. Listening to the Unabomber's rants about technology in 1997. Listening to the Unabomber's rants about technology now. Professional basketball player Oscar Cabrera died of heart attack while undergoing a stress test at a health center after being diagnosed with myocarditis. He was only 28 years old. In an Instagram post, Cabrera blamed the vaccine mandates required for international travel. They sent Kodak Bulk to prison for the same time that Hunter Biden is getting a slap on the wrist for. Hunter Biden to plead guilty to federal tax and gun crime charges. First son Hunter Biden has agreed to plead guilty to federal tax charges as part of a deal with the Justice Department that will likely keep him out of jail, according to a court document filed Tuesday. Rapper Kodak Bulk gets over 3 years in prison in weapons case. The 22-year-old has pleaded guilty to weapons charges stemming from his arrest just before a scheduled concert performance in May. Democrat lawmakers in California are pushing forward a bill that would define gay men's inability to have children as an infertility issue that needs to be covered by health insurance through expensive surrogacy. First contact in 2023. Hey, are you not shocked? Man, I got a lot going on lately. When you've been down so many rabbit holes for more hours than you care to remember, and the person you're arguing with says, you need to do some research. All three oppose the Federal Reserve. Benjamin Guggenheim oppose new Federal Reserve Bank. Issa Strauss oppose new Federal Reserve Bank. Jacob Astor oppose new Federal Reserve Bank. Today, these men would be worth $11 billion. All three of these men were aboard the Titanic when it sank. All three died that night. If you got the most votes in US history, you don't need to arrest your political opponents. But if you stole the selection, then you pretty much have to. Breaking. Night to host Doctor Who performs sex changes on minors to celebrate Pride Month. Dr. Blair Peters openly admits to doing irreversible sex change surgeries on minor girls, referring to the practice as gender. UN declares war on dangerous conspiracy theories. The world is not secretly manipulated by global elite. Well, that's a weird thing to say. A top climate scientist is warning that climate change will wipe out all of humanity unless we stop using fossil fuels over the next 5 years. It's dangerous to believe anything blindly. The science is settled. That's not how science works. You're a recess. New American Medical Association now says BMI is recess because the measurement was designed based on white bodies in the 19th century. American Medical Association says BMI is recess. I'm offering $10,000 to the first person who finds me a picture of Michelle Obama pregnant. You will never convince me that people who dress like this just want to be left alone. I'm proof all it takes is a Joe Rogan interview and a deleted video on YouTube to restore conspiracy theorists' faith in American democracy. At Elon Musk, can you buy WHO from Bill Gates and make it about health? How much does it cost?